Yesterday, BittyCat posted a response to my video and I suppose fallout from it and things around it. It's absolutely amazing, so I thought we'd look at it quickly. But before we get to that one, let's look at her first statement, the one she has now deleted. She said, "In the last few hours, a series of information has come to light regarding an old server of which I was one of many administrators 2 years ago." Many admins? There was Meow, her, and Blake. And 2 years ago? It wasn't even created that far back. They switched over to using this one in December 2023. On said server, in which I did not participate and which was abandoned 2 years ago. Is this chick okay? Did she hit her head? She was posting in it, March 2024. She was inviting people to it in February 2024. I have recently been able to read things that I was unaware of, coming from people who were expelled from my community years ago. Conversations with which I totally disagree and which have absolutely nothing to do with me. Except the ones you were directly engaged with, I guess. Like this one, where you guys are discussing the kind of material you got banned from a certain website for. That was February 27th, 2024. I won't subject you to any more. You can watch my previous video on this person's internet presence, if you wish to know. This first statement was a gigantic lie. Like I said though, it's gone now, and she's rewritten her story. Her actual response. The last one was a joke, it wasn't a lie, okay guys? But wait, watch this. She still hasn't stopped lying. First, let's get the two most insane lies out of the way. At one point she wrote, "I never promote any pro-map belief. It's why I have disclaimers on my profiles and audios, which they also conveniently left out." I played 2 very tiny snippets of her work. The first time, I included that disclaimer 6 times. Even though that specific clip where it was posted didn't have it. I added it for you, actually. You're welcome. The second clip I played includes the entire post it was attached to, including the disclaimer. Far from not including it, I included it 7 times in the first 2 minutes. What an insane lie. This man, she says, conveniently left out how I constantly complained about using Element and stopped using it. To make sure, I went back and read every single post she made in the chat room I had access to. From its creation to the shutdown, she never once complained about using Element. The full logs are available to check yourself if you know where to look. I think I know what's happened here though. She didn't look at my video or what was happening, and instinctively did damage control for an old server. This one was made specifically to address the problem she had with that one, and because Loli's show went down. Fun fact, admin Blake posted a screen cap from the old one, showing Bitty was active in there. I find it interesting she'd assume something horrible came from there, especially given the way the people on the new server talked about that old one, and its golden era. Remember her first statement? "Oh, I don't know anything about what was going on in there." Nor does anyone else. Only you and your friends do. Little bit sus there, my friend. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. And, the claim that I didn't mention she stopped using it? I actually said it more than once, but here's one example. After around March, April 2024, she no longer actually posts things. She says I left out how there was only a handful of active users, but of course I said that. How inactive it was a key point I emphasized. I archived the entirety of the chat I showed you. It was never that active. So what's he talking about making it active like it used to be? She claims I didn't include how she banned half of them on her Discord, and how they cursed her in the Element server. There's no real way of verifying the first part, and the second part is categorically false. I can't find a single example of anyone in that chat room, from the date it was created to the date it was shut down, saying anything bad about her. She says this really shows how she wasn't around to moderate, even though those comments never happened and that's not real, and that there were only 3 mods. I appreciate you confirming that you knew there were 3 mods. Exactly 3 mods. Those mods are Libido-chan, Tricky Kitty, and Run and Gun, and they were the mods until just a few days ago. Regarding that guy who she just acknowledged she knew was moderating her community, I never agreed with Run and Gun, as he is pro-map, but conveniently, that discussion was held in my previous Discord server, which is now gone. What do you mean conveniently? I didn't know you existed until last week. Do you think I'm a time traveler? Hop into the past to nuke your Discords? But look, I believe you, BittyCat. I believe you argued map stuff with him. In the Discord of yours, you just confirmed he absolutely was in. If we're talking about it being weird that people are leaving stuff out of their responses or coverage, I think it's weird that having said all this, BittyCat didn't mention Run and Gun claiming to have been an admin on that server. Oh, I stand against his pro-map stuff, but that doesn't mean he can't run my community. I mean, he's openly pro-contact, which means he's for touching kids, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't have power, right? It's fine because Bitty disagrees with him. And by the way, not only is he pro-contact, but he claims to have done it. Run and Gun, one of the 3 mods of this server, said, "Later on I got in trouble when I turned 21 for effing with my 13-year-old cuz and went to jail. Few people I told about it, but there's a lot of newer folks." Who might know about this and have known about this for a long time? Let's take a step back for a second. At the start of a document, BittyCat says everyone knows Ruru is not Run and Gun. Well, actually, everyone doesn't know that. People in this server were confused, and I pointed to that confusion. But I will now do my due diligence and clear up that confusion. A VTuber called something like Bizer Alice posted the conversation she had with Bitty. In this conversation, Bitty states that she made a statement and took it down because people kept posting her brother's face. Recently, Ruru made a new Twitter account called NyanMeow34. Before he went protected, he tweeted at me and blocked me, but told me that the real reason he deactivated his previous account was because people were posting pictures of his face. So Ruru is the brother. I mean, we kinda already knew this, but I wanted to press harder on who Run and Gun is. If I showed that some people, even in their community, were confused, they'd want to clean it up, right? And I think they cleared things up a little bit too hard. Talking to that Bizer Alice person, BittyCat claimed that Run and Gun was a fan that picked her up from the streets, and she never agreed with him, which means he talked to her about this stuff. She knew all about him from the start and was fine giving him positions of control. Ruru corroborates this story and confirms their knowledge further. When asked on Twitter about why people would confuse Ruru's account with Run and Gun's, and if he knows Run and Gun, Ruru says, "Yeah, he was me and Bitty's roommate. He offered to take us off the streets when we were at the brink of dying and we accepted. Not gonna say he's a good person, he's gross, but I'll take living with a convict over dying." A single tear ran down my face. Forced to shack up with a convicted chomo, pro-contact map, who for some reason was a fan of your content.
Push your inside her tight child.
She hated living with that convicted chomo so much that she dragged him into a closet to record a child abuse roleplay with him. Damn, the kids in her art aren't real, but the molesters are. True authenticity. And I mean, he's clearly not one of the people she's banned and tried to get away from. Not too long ago, he was talking to someone about their 15+ child actor goon servers, and regarding Discord he said, "Yeah, I only stick to the Bitty groups there. I know I'm welcome. I don't hang out anywhere. I can't fully be myself, man." Just last month, mod Run Gun and admin Blake, who we know from the last video is still receiving orders from Bitty, were talking about how they rang in the new year watching movies with Bitty. If this is one of the good ones, I dread to think who you've been getting rid of. She does, though, sort of address this indirectly. You see, Bitty has styled herself as the ped whisperer. She says, "I've spoken out against pedophiles who truly meant harm. I've submitted reports to those I couldn't help. The ones bragging about breaking the law, it makes me sick." Oh, so she's got like a hidden nonce army whose secret she's keeping because she trusts them, they're the good ones. "You would be surprised how many lolicons pay me to call them a P. Blah blah blah, it's degradation, and some people can't get off unless you call them something worse. I provide that release because I don't judge people based on thoughts. I value freedom of speech and aim to help those who cannot be helped." Hey look man, this is freedom of speech, but the second you call it weird or creepy, that crosses a line. This stuff must be protected. Saying you don't like this stuff, dangerous to children. The classic. But she continues, it's not just free speech and paraphile rights for her. She says many have reached out to her, saying how her content has helped them not sink further into hell. You all don't realize how my content has helped prevent CSA. Yeah, I'm sure they do. They talk about that being their strategy, in fact. I uploaded a video about it recently. Having people in communities like this helps them a lot with their networking, organization, and communication. You're right, it's not illegal, but I'm personally not a big fan. Bitty continues. Antis harass, ridicule, defame, bully people into submission, isolation, and fear. What happens to a pyromaniac when they are harassed and bullied into isolation and fear? What happens to a murderer who gets isolated? Bad things happen. the worst happens. Bitty, is that some kind of messed up threat? What, you're gonna diddle if I'm not nice to you? And when we were talking about antis, I thought it meant like anti-lolicons. To be clear, because it's the only way this makes sense, when you say anti, it means anti-pedophile. Gonna be real, I didn't expect any response to my video, but I certainly didn't expect a mask-off response. She continues, I truly believe, love, and acceptance. Oh, this is pedo acceptance stuff. Oh, I genuinely... Alright. She never promotes pro-map ideas, guys. She just thinks we have to love them more and accept them more. Everyone just needs to be more comfortable around them. I truly believe love and acceptance can help change lives and prevent crime. Nope. Knowledge. Information. Research is very limited. You use that research to do more research. You don't take a little crumb of info and then go, oh, maybe someone more isolated is likely to commit a crime. We need gooner spaces for all the pedos! No. We need to make them feel welcome. They need to be mods and admins everywhere. Hell no. But that's all I do. I'm an adult and rather have those people on the edge of life. What the? Come to my content than the darknet. I'd rather they nut to my content than someone innocent who can't consent. She does it for the kids. She's a hero. This is sacrifice. And they, of course, can't do both, because once you go to her content, you're locked in. You can't also go to the dark web. Yeah, much safer to deliberately gather them all into a matrix server where they can openly identify themselves and send each other encrypted messages. The rule says nothing illegal, so nothing bad could happen. By the way, they keep complaining that I didn't show what the rules were. The link I followed didn't show me any rules. And the room description was just an ad for where you can go to pay to get access to her VIP Discord. The pinned post was some material she planned on reading. Anyway, back to her point. Bitty Cat's 6-day limited edition PDF Grape Assist Part 2 audio saved lives! That other track with Run and Gun, that is also just them being heroes together. A grown woman pretending to be a baby getting diddled by another voice actor who is a convicted chomo is not freak show stuff. It is life-saving technology. Ladies and gents, I don't think I've ever witnessed anything quite as cooked as this. And I swear to you, I didn't know about this before the video I made about peds doing this. I swear, it just is this perfect example. And hopefully it's the last example. I don't really want to keep covering this stuff, but people just keep being retards at me.